All right. Thanks so much, all of you, for taking our time out of your busy schedule and coming and sharing your thoughts with us.
Well, I wanted to ask about the whole campaign says choose beautiful, and I think you've addressed it in different ways. But one thing I'm not aware of as a man that I learn as I grow older, and I may be wrong about this, but we grew up kind of defining ourselves by achievement. As a guy, they tell you to go out and achieve things. What I wasn't aware of and someone told me is that from a very young age, girls are told to define themselves by appearance. As in, your virtue is defined by how pretty you are. You look very nice in a dress. So your motivations are different from us in many ways.
And both motivations are erroneous. You're right. The definitions need to be redefined.
So do you think a campaign like this that says choose beautiful only reinforces an idea of you to keep defining yourself in terms of appearance? Or does it go beyond that? I mean, when you say choose beautiful, are you just asking to keep thinking about how you look?
No, I think if you see the campaign, and I've seen the entire campaign run in the United States, it's basically a campaign aimed at developing intrinsic self-worth of a woman. It's obviously, since I think Dove is a product which is a beauty product, okay? But if you see the core takeaway is that start believing in yourself, self-acceptance, self-love, self-worth, self-esteem are concepts that this promotional campaign or this product is trying to launch globally across the world for people to think different and not restrict beauty only to superficial externals.
And I would say that there is a huge sense of beauty is for the elite few, those on the hoardings and those in the movies, and it's not for the common person. And I think that's, you know, we're a democracy. We should democratize beauty. Each and every one of us deserves to be beautiful.
And because of these definitions, which you did accurately put them, that is how it is done in every single society around the world. Women are defined often by the way they look, and the men by their achievements. And this is an age-old story. So because of that, I think women have developed multiple complexes about the way they look, about their bodies. Men less so, but I find actually even men today are becoming slowly more and more, thinking about the way they look. So I actually, when I saw this campaign, I said this could very well be a co-ed campaign, and it would be as
I think there should be a co-ed campaign.
It would be as influential or as important for men. I would love to see how many men would walk through the average or beautiful door, and I have a feeling like many more men than women would walk just through the average door.
And that is, I think, of course, there's many gaps and inequalities in India, but I think that there is a sense in every household of entitlement with the boy over the girl. And the girl must work hard to be, one day she will have to marry someone, and she therefore should, she should be fair, and she should grow her hair, and she should work hard and do all of those things. And the boy can just sit back and maybe watch TV and drink a glass of milk. And he can let himself go as well. That girth can expand, and all of that, it's taken for granted that he will marry someone who's prettier than him. Whereas I think that all of us should work on ourselves. And that doesn't mean that you take the definition of beautiful to be narrow in that sense. I think the idea, and that's what Dove has done in this campaign as well, is really open out the definition of what is beautiful by saying that each and every one of us is beautiful, and each and every one is an achiever as well. Open out that definition of success as well.
But Dr. Chirani, I wanted to ask you, do you get young boys coming to you as well with body issues? I'm sure they are.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very
rare,
very
really?
rare.
Okay. I would think that that's pretty prevalent as well.
It's very rare. I work in Mumbai. I mean, I live and work there. Maybe fortunately, the boys haven't yet been bitten as much by this external beauty bug yet. But as Soha says, maybe we're on the way. We're on the way, and especially with our 6-pack and 8-pack and all these nice commercials that keep,
Sometimes it's often the parents. They're like, oh, they're not encouraging this. If there are complexes, it could very much be this, even if there are problems. It's such a taboo. Oh, why is ye ladka, ye kyun soch raha hai? You know what I mean? So I really feel like that perhaps we're at that stage right now, because I do meet so many young men who have these complexes, and who look at the way that women will look at these models and actresses. They will look at these male models and say, oh, this is the way I should be, but can I ever get there?
Hello, I'm Shivangi. My question is to Ira ma'am. Ma'am, you used the term duty. A girl is asked to perform duty towards her parents, or be it husband, except herself. So the same thing applies for a boy as well. So why is it that a girl feels guilty more than a boy?
Gosh, why do women feel more guilty than men? An age-old question. If only someone could answer that, wouldn't this world be a happier place? I just think that, at least in our Indian context, where men maybe said that, that you're men, I still feel like there is a sense of duty, but there's less so than a woman. A man is still encouraged to go out there, to earn a living, to make a name for themselves. Women, it's not so much. A woman's role is seen more in the household, more as a caretaker. And that's a role that she's been defined by. So when she comes out of that role, it's natural to feel that sense of guilt. That's probably the way that we've seen our mothers. Most of our mothers have been homemakers. I come across very few people in our generation whose mothers were going to work every day and going to the office. So that's what we've been seeing. Men have always seen their fathers going out into the office and doing those things. And for the first time in Indian society, I think, for many centuries, this is changing. Now we have young women who, in sort of large numbers going out to the workplace. And of course they feel that guilt because their mothers didn't do it, their grandmothers didn't do it, their great-grandmothers never did it. So I think that's where, especially in this particular generation, because we don't have those role models yet who are doing the same things as we do, that's why I think the guilt factor is even more so than what it is. And I hope that this settles down. There will always be guilt. That's a universal female problem. But I think in this generation, with Indian women, it is especially a big problem.
We are multitaskers by nature, again, women, whereas, all the men are going to hate me here. You give a man one thing to do and that's enough. And, you're supposed to do 10 things at the same time. And I think that therefore you feel like, I'll handle it. I'll get to it when I do, and I'll do it properly. And if I haven't got to it, then I feel guilty because I was supposed to do it.
This one is for Soha. Does exposure to the industry somewhat change your attitude towards what you choose or play any role according to what people perceive? Like people who perceive you as very beautiful, so would that play any role in what you choose?
I think I'm just inherently distrustful of everybody because I just don't. It all comes from within. Like if I have conviction in something, then I do. Even if I'm asked to do a role in a film, even if 20 people tell me you should do this film, if I don't feel that conviction, I won't be able to do it. And if I feel like that role suits me, and often it's a mistake, often, I will still do it because I'm stubborn and I have that conviction. And that's what's come from my parents investing in my education by saying that you now grow up and make your own decisions and your own choices because that's what we've brought you up to do. And we're there to guide you and pick you up if, God forbid, you need us. But now you're out there to make your own choices. So even in this profession, the kinds of roles that I do, the ads, and I've sometimes done glamorous ads and really haven't enjoyed being a part of them at all. I much enjoy doing something which is, which allows you to be, really you're broken down when you do a hair or a skin commercial. It's like, but the eyes and the nose and the hair, and you're like, what about me underneath all of that? I'm a person. And that's what I like about, the Dove ads they're certainly refreshing. They use real people, and there's a lot of relatability in that as well. And you can be cynical about it. You can say at the end of the day, they're still selling products and it's still part of this beauty industry. But I certainly think it's a step in the right direction, and it's the kind of philosophy that I would like to see more of in the media.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, it was a pleasure and to have you all here, and I really enjoyed this session. Though I'm a person, I'd never feel guilty about myself, about anything in this world. Yeah. So after today's session, I'm sure my husband is gonna have a more tough time because I've just stepped into motherhood, and he does all the household stuff. He never asks me to, be at home, look after my child, and he stays
That's
back
awesome.
and all of that.
We should talk later. I need to figure this out.
So my question to you is, does you really, does work culture really puts you in a pressure to dress down at work?
If you're pretty, if you dress too well at work, are you taken as a non-serious person?
So if we talk about me as an individual, no. I mean, I do what I want. That being said, have I been judged for it? Absolutely. I've had people say some very nasty stuff about the fact that I wore a skirt and blah, 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 blah. So it happens, yes, absolutely. Has that altered my ways? No, because I feel like if I do that, then it's a domino effect, right? I stop that, the other girl stops it, and everybody will stop it, and then, I mean, basically, we're going back to where we started from. There's no, so no, it hasn't. But that being said, do I see people dressing in a certain way at work, at my workplace? Absolutely. It's a little more free at my workplace, because, I mean, seriously, the CEO is dressing like whatever she feels like. So then, everybody's got a free hand. But I do see people, even within their own groups, they're being judged. And it constrains them on whatever they want to wear. And I see that, yeah.
Hi, Dr. Jalani. I just wanted to ask you a simple question. You had mentioned that you talked to your 15-year-old daughter about how to choose beautiful, right? How to stay away from preening.
Yes.
How do I tell my 22-year-old to choose beautiful?
A 22-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 5-year-old needs to fall in love with her body as is. I think if we can teach that concept of self-acceptance, that is intrinsic self-worth, which nobody can rob you away or nobody can take away from you. So I would say, actually do this as an exercise. There's one of the Dove campaigns which was carried in the US. How often do you see yourself in the mirror and smile? I will add to it. How often do you see yourself in the mirror and like what you see?
When we're saying, are you ready to choose beautiful, are we saying that you need to wear makeup, or you need to dress in certain fashion, or you need to style yourself? What do you say on this?
Definitely not. I think it's choosing to do what you want to do. And that's what the campaign meant to me, at least. Is that you're beautiful as you are, and I think all the women in the video were very naturally beautiful. None of them were overly made up or anything like that. So I don't think so. But I think women, even if they want to, sometimes they will, as the study shows, they won't style themselves. They won't do those things. But I do think that what the video at least meant to me was that you should do whatever makes you feel beautiful. And whether that's styling or no styling or makeup or no makeup or straight hair or curly hair or whatever that is.
And I think it's that self-acceptance and self-love that makes you beautiful. So I think the message would then be that if you love yourself and if you give yourself, I mean, ultimately that self-esteem must come from within. And then if you choose beautiful, you are beautiful.
See, this experiment encourages a woman to reconsider the choice of beauty. So, and how does a person feels about it? So how easy or hard would you say to make a choice? Is it easy, or it is just said to be, like, we say it is easy, but actually it's not easy so in the real world?
So if you're making a choice every day, how difficult or easy is it to choose beautiful every single day?
I think it's really hard. I think you literally have to, if you're at the point where, if you're like Soha, one day she's here, one day she's there, maybe it's, you're mid-scale. I think if you're at the scale where you're choosing average, you literally first have to take the first, and that's me personally, I'm just talking about my own journey. I think it wasn't like one day I just woke up and I said, wow, I love myself. It wasn't like that at all. I literally had to work on it. I had to do things that I actually enjoyed. I actually, had to like myself, which by this way is a big feat in itself. So I think it happens over time. It's not, an instantaneous thing. So I would say it's hard. You have to you literally have to make an effort. You have to invest in yourself, whether it's, and we've talked about this multiple times, going to the gym, whatever it is, but you'd have to invest in yourself. And that requires time and work. It can't be overnight.
I think that every woman should choose beautiful every single day. I think that's what the point of this campaign is. And I do think that while it does take a lot of hard work, at the end of the day, it's just one switch that you make in your mind. It's just one choice. So it may seem from this conversation like it's a lot of work to choose beautiful, but it's not. It's just, one thought. So I really hope that all of you men, I mean, women and men both, choose beautiful, not today, but every single day.
Right, thanks so much, Soha, Ira, Anisha, and Dr. Jalani for taking our time and coming. We had a very enjoyable evening, lots of interesting stories that we got to hear about each and every one of you, and we had some very interesting comments coming in from the audience as well. So basically, lots of positive energy in this room. The big takeaway, choose beautiful and it'll open up a world of opportunities and possibilities for you.